Hey, it's Kieran Colton here, and today I wanted to talk with you about some extensions you can use on dominant 7th chords. So most of us know our stock standard dominant 7th shapes. So for example, from the low E string 5th fret, we have A7, and from the A string 5th fret, we have a D7. Now there's nothing wrong with those chords. They'll get the job done, but they can start sounding a bit same, and you want to add new things to your playing, and extensions are a great way to do that and just take things to the next level. So what are they first? So what we're doing is we're taking a dominant 7th chord, which is built from a triad and a flat 7th, and we're extending it by adding one more note to that chord. And in this case, we're going to add a 9th. Now it's called a 9th because it's the 9th note of the scale that corresponds with the chord. That's the theory behind it. If you don't know any of that, that's fine. You can still do all of this and it's still going to sound just as good. But that's kind of where it comes from. So let's do this. Let's add a extension. Let's add a 9th to this A7th chord. So we have A7. Let's add the 9th. This note here on the 7th fret of the high E string. So then we've turned it from an A7 into an A9. And this is just another option you can use. When you see A7, another option you can substitute an A9 in over A7. You've got the freedom to do that, right? Now let's do the same with a D7. So we have a D7, now let's turn it into a D9. This shape here. Cool, now another extension, that's the 9s. Now another extension you can use is a 13th, right? So let's look at that. You have A7, to add the 13th is the 7th fret of the B string with your pinky. Let's do the same with the D. So we had our D7 and D9. Let's add the 13th fret. So that turns it into a D13. So they're just a couple of options for extensions you can use. There's different voicings, but they're just ones to get you started. Now, a great little concept you can start thinking about that can open up different options for you with chord voicings is this idea of not having to play the root in the chord. So when you have an A7, you can actually leave out the A note, and then that's just going to allow your fingers to get in some different positions to get some different chord shapes. So let's look at a couple of those because some of them are really cool and sound really good. So let's look at a A9. But without the root. So that would be here. So it's an A9. It doesn't have an A note in it. But it's an A9. Now, let's do a D13 with that same thing, without a root note. Now, these at first on their own, you might think they sound a little bit unusual or a little bit tense, but the more you get accustomed to them, the more they'll sound, like they fit, and especially in the right context as well. So, a few examples of that would be over a 12-bar blues. Alright, so there you go. There's some extensions you can start using in your dominant 7th chord. So have fun with that.